Hey there, Google. I have this Mercedes E320 and it has an issue with the alarm siren that keeps going off even when driving, and it just happens randomly. Sometimes it's parked and it just goes off. Sometimes I'm driving and it'll just go off on its own, and it'll go on for about 5 cycles and then stop. It seems like one of the major causes of this is the siren itself has a little battery inside that goes bad after a while, and so it would need to be replaced. Another reason this happens is these cars have 2 batteries. One main battery, which is in the trunk in the back, and another one which can be found right over here underneath this plastic panel here. And although the problem might be the siren itself, that's a little bit harder to diagnose because I have to lift up the car and get to it that way. It's much more easier for me to just take this panel off right here, this plastic panel, and just check the battery underneath that. If that's not the issue, then most likely it's going to be the siren itself with the little battery inside that might need to be replaced. When that battery voltage drops to a certain point, it triggers the alarm to go on. So we just need to test the battery and see if the battery is good or bad. And if it's bad, we just need to replace that battery and hopefully it'll fix the issue. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and, there's a nut here, it's plastic. I'm gonna go ahead and just remove it. So once we remove this nut here, we're gonna try to pry this cover off. There you go, just pull on it, there you go. Just comes right off like that. Inside here is actually an air filter. So we're gonna be careful not to get that dirty. We're gonna put it aside. And if you look inside, all the way down there, you can see that there's that battery right there being held down from this bracket. So we're going to loosen this bracket and take the battery out. Alright, so I went and grabbed this different socket. For this right here, there's a bolt sticking out of there. So you're going to need to get a deep socket like this. By the way, all of these are number 10 millimeter socket. So let's go ahead and continue. Not impossible. So this thing's being a little bit difficult, but if you just work at it and slowly turn it counterclockwise, you'll eventually loosen this bolt and then it'll pop off just like that. Now I'm going to go ahead and remove the positive side carefully. Okay. And there we go. Red side's off now. And now this bracket here is being held down. Just have to, it's like a little lever, you just pull it up and you should be able to get this guy off. There we go. All right, so now that we got the battery out of the car, I'm gonna go ahead and test its voltage. Now, I got 2 tools to do this. One way to do this is just use a basic multimeter. This one's kind of expensive. I'll have a link in this video for this one, as well as some alternatives that are less expensive. You should have this tool in any case. It's good to test a lot of different things, not just for batteries. But today I'm going to go ahead and use the multimeter to test the battery voltage. And then I'll show you how to use a more specialized tool to test the battery in general. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and turn this on, put it in DC voltage, not AC. And we're going to connect the black side to the negative and the positive to the red. Well, it looks like it's 12.67 volts, so it actually is testing out correct. This is a 12 volt battery, so I expect it to be above 12 volts, and in this case it is. So initially testing with this multimeter, it seems like it's good, but let me go ahead and use my more specialized tool to test it just in case. All right, so what I have here is an actual battery analyzer, and this is able to analyze many different type of 12 volt batteries. It's specifically designed to test the batteries, so it's going to do a far better job than just a simple test with the multimeter. I have a link to this item in the description of this video if you guys are interested in this tester, but let's go ahead and start. So what we got to do is just connect the leads to the battery. That's the negative side, red to the positive side. As soon as you connect it, if the battery is not completely dead, the tester will turn itself on. I'm going to go ahead and press menu, battery test. So here it's asking if it's a 12 or 24 volt battery. This one is a 12 volt battery. It's indicated right here on the label. So press enter to continue. This is a since we took the battery outside of the vehicle, it's not connected to the vehicle anymore. We're going to put out of vehicle. Here it's asking if it's a top post or side post. These terminals here are on the top of the battery, so it's going to be a top post. Although it's not indicated on the label of the battery, this is not a regular lead acid battery. This is actually an AGM battery. Here it's asking what standard we would like to use to enter the cold. So in this case, the CCA is a cold cranking amps of the battery. On this battery, it actually shows you what it is. It's 170, so 170 amps, cold cranking amps. So we're gonna select CCA, and then we're gonna lower this. Regular car batteries, the main car battery I should say, actually has a lot more cold cranking amps, but since this is just an auxiliary battery, it only has 170. So we're gonna lower it all the way down to 170, just like that. Press enter. So now it's testing the battery, and it's done. As you can see, it's saying replace the battery, because although it has 12.6 volts, as soon as it applies load to the battery, it notices that it can't handle it. So it only measured at 35 cold cranking amps, even though it's rated 170. So this battery definitely needs to get replaced. Alright, so I just went to the local auto parts store and picked up this replacement auxiliary battery. Part number is AUX14. I got this from the O'Reilly's that's near my house, and it cost me a little over $100. I'm gonna go ahead and test it before I put it in. Let's go ahead and hook it up. Negative goes on black side. In this case there's no colors, but it tells you right there, negative, positive. Go ahead and connect the positive as well. All right, so it's 12.66, so that's very good. Let's go ahead and start the test. 12 volt system, out of vehicle, top post, AGM, and the CCA on this battery, I've tested it just a little before I started this video here, is 200 CCA. It doesn't say on this, but I checked online and this particular battery is 200 cold cranking amps. So let's go ahead and start the test. There we go. So we got a good battery. The measured CCA on this particular battery is 375, even though it's rated for 200. So it's actually above what it's rated at, which is very good. And so let's go ahead and pop this battery into the car and see if it works. So let's go ahead and install the air filter box back over it. There's these little teeth on the top. What you have to do is first put those into place and then gently lower it down as it snaps into place. And you can feel that it went in correctly too. Thank you guys for watching. If this video was helpful, please subscribe. It'll help my channel if you subscribe. Also, please give me a thumbs up. If you have any comments, please leave them below. And thanks for watching. Laters.